दोस्तों, स्वागत है आपका मेरे इस यूट्यूब चैनल आम लोग पर। इसमें मैं जनरली राजनीति के बारे में बात करता हूँ और आज भी एक विशेष बात करूंगा। काफी विशेष बात है राजनीति के बारे में। आपने देखा होगा कि रिसेंटली किस तरह से अरविंद केजरीवाल की आम आदमी पार्टी को हराकर बीजेपी ने दिल्ली में सरकार बना ली। और उन पर बहुत सारे जैसा कि आप जानते हैं, करप्शन का चार्जेस थे, और जिनमें शराब घोटाला तो एक था ही, और उनका जो शीश महल था वो भी काफी सुर्खियों में आया था। और शीश महल में दो चीजें थी, एक तो पर्दे और दूसरा जो उनका टॉयलेट, ऑटोमेटिक टॉयलेट जो था, जिसमें गर्म हो सकता है, ऑटोमेटिकली वॉश हो सकती है, फ्रेश हवा आ सकती है, वगैरह वगैरह, गर्म हवा आ सकती है, जो ये सारी चीजें थी। तो आपको जरूर जिज्ञासा होगी कि वो किस तरह का टॉयलेट था। तो मैं आपके लिए ऐसा ही एक वीडियो खोज के लाया हूँ। इंग्लैंड का ये वीडियो है जिसमें इस तरह के एक टॉयलेट को डिस्क्राइब किया गया है। मैं चाहता था कि इसकी मैं हिंदी में ट्रांसलेशन करके कमेंट्री आपको सुनाऊं, लेकिन उसमें मजा नहीं आता, तो मैं एज इट इज उसको थोड़ा सा ट्रिम करके आपको सुना रहा हूँ। तो देखिए उसको और आनंद लीजिए, और अगर अच्छा लगे तो इसको लाइक कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए, और मेरे इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब जरूर कीजिए। तो देखिए किस तरह से अरविंद केजरीवाल ने, इसकी कीमत करीब 8 से 10 लाख रुपए है, क्योंकि अभी रिसेंटली ही ये हमारी इस सोसाइटी में एक बड़े उद्योगपति ने अपने बाथरूम्स में इंस्टॉल करवाया था। केजरीवाल ने कितने, 8 10 कितने ये इंस्टॉल किए मालूम नहीं मुझे, पर जरूर इस तरह का ही कुछ होगा। तो देखिए।
Oh, ho, 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 ho. She's going to open for me. Oh, look at that. Oh, she's opened up. Some of you may be interested to know how I installed this amazing toilet, and I have made a video about that, and I'll leave a link to that at the end of this video that you'll be able to click on the screen. But first, let's talk about some of the features of this bidet, hair drying, bum warming toilet. It's incredible. So straight off the bat, it is a toilet with a fantastic adjustable flush on it. The flush on these comes out of a special flush plate here, and we can alter and adjust the amount of flush that comes out every time we flush it using a special insert and which way it's orientated round. On this toilet here, I've completely removed it because I love a big flush, and that's perfectly fine. That's part of the thing that you can do. One of the coolest things this toilet does is it auto opens and closes the seat using a motion sensor when you come into the toilet. You would not believe how many times I've heard my wife go, "Oh, hello," when she goes into the toilet. Even I've started doing it now. And like I said, when you get up off the toilet, it knows when you've got off it because there's a little sensor just here, and it can sense when you've sat on the toilet. It will then shut the toilet. And because this toilet works perfectly with the Vitraflush plate up there, it knows when you've sat down on it, and therefore when you get up, if you've been on there quite quickly because you've gone for a wee-wee, or you've been there for a little bit longer because of other reasons, yes, it knows how long to flush, and therefore when you get up, you don't have to touch the toilet seat, you don't have to flush anything, you don't even need to put your hand up against the flush plate if you don't want to. You can just get up, wash your hands, leave the washroom or the toilet or whatever you want to call it, and this will flush automatically for you after you've left. So that's really good. And also for a downstairs toilet, which is where we are at the moment in my house, where we've got lots of people coming in and out for parties and bits and pieces, because we are sociable creatures, it's quite nice to know that we've got somewhere where people don't have to touch loads of stuff all the time if they've got a bit of a hygiene worry issue. But there are some things on the VCare Prime that have been, I think, developed just for me. One of them is the deodorization function. So when you sit on the toilet, and I can just put my hand here, and it knows that we've sat on it, and you should be able to hear straight away that the deodorization function has started. What that's doing is it's extracting air, putting that through a filter, so if there are any random smells that may come out while you're on top of the toilet, it will go through that deodorizer and there won't be any smells in it. I can tell you now, in the month that I've had this installed, or how many ever weeks that I've had this beast installed, there have been no nasty smells out of this toilet whatsoever, and I've had Christmas dinner. The other function that I actually think you could liken it to having a heated steering wheel when you get in your car. You don't really know you need it until you've got it, and once you've got it, you never want to go back again. This has a heated seat. So when you sit down on it, it's not freezing cold, it's just the right temperature. Although it's very easy to adjust the temperature up and down using the handy remote behind me on the wall. I think it's a good idea to address the fact that, especially in the UK, we do tend to like using toilet paper, and we're not really used to using bidets that much. I've got a bidet upstairs that I've had for ages. That's actually a Vitra one as well. If I have to go to a hotel, or if I have to stay somewhere, or I go around someone else's house, the fact they don't have a bidet toilet now feels incredibly unusual to me and slightly dirty, sorry to say. If you want to think about it like this, when you go and have a shower or when you have a bath, you tend to wash yourself everywhere, don't you? Including that place where things happen. And when you sit down on a bidet like this one here and you go to the toilet, you actually have a nice little mini wash where you come out as if you've just had a shower pretty much. You're that clean. This space age toilet is packed with more features that you can access easily using the remote control, although there are some basic function buttons on the side of the Vitra Prime itself as an alternative. So if I put my hand on here, you'll hear that little beep. The Vitra Prime knows that we're on the toilet. The air deodorizer comes on straight away. Let's use the Vitra VCare remote so I can show you each one of these amazing features. As you can see, we can open and close the toilet seat and the toilet seat cover using the top two buttons, although I have the automatic function set for this, so I don't tend to use this on the remote. The stop button will stop any of the functions that are currently operating. The female button will use a diffused nozzle outlet to deliver water in a softer way. Once the female wash is running, we can use the nozzle position button and the plus and minus scale to alter the position of the nozzle. We can use the same scale to alter the water pressure and the water temperature. We can fine-tune the type of wash by having a pulsating wash, which adds a more massaging effect, and the oscillating wash, and there is. Check this out. Oh, this thing is so cool. And we can change the temperature of the even a nightlight LED inside the toilet that's triggered when it gets dark, so it's not on all the time. So now I'm afraid, guys, there's no excuse. Even though, because the toilet seat's beautifully heated, I'm generally sat down now anyway. Cleaning and maintenance is really easy and should be done about 3 times a year for optimum performance. But I followed the instructions, took about 10 or 15 minutes, and I kind of just left it to it really, using the supplied tundish and descaler bottle to descale and clean out the internal components. The bidet nozzle can be extracted for cleaning by pressing the female and male washes together for 3 seconds, and then you can just wipe it down with a cloth. The whole toilet seat, the bidet, the air dryer, everything that I've described so far in this video can be easily removed and lifted out from the top of the toilet by pressing the 2 buttons on each side. Once you've pressed them, you can lift it all out. This is installed on flexible water connections and electrical connections, so then you can give everything a good wipe round as well. Everything can be turned on and off depending on whether you need it, including the toilet seat lifting up and down automatically. You can turn that off if you like. You can turn the deodorization function off so that never comes on. All those things that maybe you don't want, I just want you to know that you've got full flexibility. There's a burn mode on here as well, so if you're sat on the seat for 10 minutes, it will not allow it to go above 38 degrees, just in case you start getting a bit of a hot behind, which for most people isn't a great thing. There's also a power saving mode, so you can press the stop